this is part 1B really. So yeah,
So
I think what I saw some of that Twitter stuff. You had people like Dominic Byrne engaging, Dan O'Sullivan, Stewie Davidson, Adam Blenkow. I mean, all really good, smart people that care about racing. So sorry, go on.
No, well, and so it was a business of betting podcast. I've done one, and Mark Lambourne recently did one. Now, Mark said something, and it blew my mind, and like I reckon so many things that make you go, shit, it's actually really simple. It just makes you think, I haven't looked at it that way. Yeah. What Mark said, you'll probably cross this, was that the old dynamics of racing was that the pro punters and the bookies were almost on the same team. I never thought of it that way.
Yep.
So, and I urge you, I sort of just Google business of betting and Mark Lambourne podcast. And so that his analogy was a country bookie might be, has not much of an opinion about a race, gets a phone call from a pro, sets the pro to win 5,000, and then he knows that horse is going to firm and he can lay it off or whatever, he can do his business based on intelligence from someone who's done more form than him.
Yep.
What's happened since the dynamics of corporate bookmakers is that now they don't want any smart players. So they're on separate teams.
Yep.
I think by extension what this has shown through Peter Volandi's decision, Racing New South Wales decision against Betfair, and subsequent commentary, and it's titled Betfair's Mythical Argument under the Racing New South Wales side of things, is that Racing New South Wales, ironically, given that they're associated with the tab, have said we're on the bookmakers' side because we want pro punters on the other side.
Yeah.
Effectively, aren't they? They're saying we don't want pro punters on our side. We don't want big customers on our side anymore. See what I mean? Because they're saying we want to charge you more.
Yes, yeah,
effectively, because let's face it, in the Betfair sphere, if you're a big turnover player and you know what you're doing,
I think they just take for granted that the big players are going to find a way, so they sort of don't care. It's fun, man.
No, and I'd love to hear the other side of the argument, not a press release side of the argument, but actually an interview with someone who has an idea. No one's prepared to be in that space, are they? I mean, it's all Dorothy Dix's and powder puff questions from compromised people who aren't going to ask the right questions and aren't going to follow it up with, say, hang on, Peter, or in fairness, Giles, or whatever jurisdiction. No one's there to ask a decent question of any of these people. Because the other side of the argument is you are turning away smart big players. Smart big players can just as easily go to the AFL or cricket.
Yep.
That's just the fact of it. So we're not here to stick up for Betfair. But to say, the secondary part, that's Gary from the All Nations just looking after what's it. The secondary part of it is that the very basic is that they're saying that every bet is the same on Betfair, meaning that if a smart punter gets 8s and then comes in the 6s and says, well, I'll lay off, he's been charged twice for the same bet on the same horse in the same race, and to me that's responsible betting.
Yeah, isn't it? Yes, absolutely. I mean, you make it, I mean, it's just so rudimental. What's that word, Ralph?
Rudimentary?
Yeah, that's it. That's the word. That it's not complicated, and Peter Volandis would know exactly what he's doing, and his arguments are deeply flawed. But they come because he's coming from an agenda that he's not worried. They don't seem worried about the big picture of engaging with the next generation of punters.
But there's the other thing you just touched on there, that it's like Dan Kelly always says, hang on, he's the punter's hero because he was the first bloke who said, no, we're going to bring in a minimum bet more against the corporates.
Yeah.
So in that respect, and we try and put all sides of the argument here, he deserves praise.
Yes.
My follow-up question is, I'd love to know the thinking behind...
But he did that because it was, it suited his situation. I mean, he's about turnover. He doesn't want to have things in play that are going to restrict turnover.
No.
So that's why I'm saying that his action here against Betfair is about a war on Betfair to get them out of the market.
Yes.
Because he's already nailed his colours to the mast previously that he doesn't want policies in place via the corporates that are going to restrict turnover.
No, but we're so bit different here. What I'm saying is, I just wonder if he's forcing against the corporates, bugger the corporates, you're not going to be taking out punters. I wonder if that original statement was thinking that would get more punters back to the tab.
Minimum bet rules?
Yes, because it says you can't get on early and you can only get on here, so go to the tab. Because that's their official wagering partner. Everything else is there. So I just wonder if maybe they read the play wrong and they went, oops, because the corporates are still flying.
Yeah. Well, the reason the corporate, like, if Peter, you'll never watch this in a million years, but who knows? The reason the corporates are travelling as well as they are, despite the squeeze with the fees going up constantly, putting them under some pressure, is because they are the only ones that have engaged with that younger audience.
Yes.
They have, racing has left it exclusively to the corporate bookmakers to seek out and find the next generation of punters.
Yes.
And that to me seems such a deeply flawed strategy, but that's it. That is the strategy.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Another one that I haven't seen mentioned on this side of the argument. So Winks goes around, right? And Winks goes around in a field of 8, groups 1 or 2 early in the Sydney Spring. It'll probably be what, $1.06?
Yeah.
Right. So the tab betting's out of play. Tab betting's right out of play. Once you put the commission up on Betfair, the arbitrage players, the high turnover people, who will back and lay and say, well, maybe we'll get it to $1.08 and then we'll put it back to $1.06. And that's liquidity. Once you put that price, they're not interested. Do you know the only people who are going to make money out of Winks going around?
Yeah, the ones getting the rebate.
No, yeah, sorry. But amongst the general public?
The price, if you worked at the price to them,
what will the ads be?
They can't get enough of it.
No,
the minimum dividend's $1.
Yeah.
So the minimum dividend to them is $1.10.
No, what will the ads be? The ads will be corporate bookmakers saying,
yeah,
$2 Winks,
yeah,
maximum bet $25.
Yeah.
So all the smart punters, all the small punters, for instance, all the small punters will all pile into the, Ladbroke Sportsbet, Crown Bet, all those offers.
Yes.
Take them all. Early in the Spring Carnival, those corporates will say, beauty, we've got all these new sign-ons, we've taken the $25 maximum bet offer, and now they're our customers. So who misses out? Racing New South Wales misses out because they're not clipping the Betfair ticket because they've lost all the arbitrage players who just sit back and don't even get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it's so dumb.
Yeah, all of it's crazy. All of it's crazy.
Yeah.
The whole structure of the thing. And meanwhile, while he's put the price up to Betfair and basically, he's trying to force them out of business.
Yeah.
He sits back and goes, okay, we like the totalised ADA market, the parimutuel market, by the tab, because that's where we get our biggest takeout. However, a huge chunk of the turnover on that parimutuel, Peter, as you would well know, is coming from certain kind of operators that are getting a large rebate. And
yes.
It's a very unfair situation.
And ultimately they end up betting against themselves. And the other thing you'll be doing is saying, but look at all this great publicity we're getting for the Everest.
Yeah.
Potts, do you know what you, me and most professional punters will call the Everest?
Another race.
Race 7.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll come, it'll go, and we'll either move on and play or we won't play. But
the dividends will be the same.
I'm not knocking the concept, and anything that gets racing wider coverage is good, but it's got to mean something. And will it mean something that, wow.
It'll give them some. But, I mean, it's actually. I've got to say, it's gone better than I thought it. I mean, it seems like they're going to get a good field, and all the big wigs in the industry are, buying a spot. And blah, blah,
it wasn't
blah.
a huge surprise because,
there you go.
given the hashtag breeders, that that was always going to be very well supported.
But I don't think punters are going to be that engaged with it, really. You know what I mean? It's just.
Oh well,
whatever.
What about we have a look at Bath Road, Clement?
Let's do that.